So the Super Bowl happened last night, and kind of took some screenshots, if you will, right? To kind of let people on Facebook know what I was doing last night, because they were trying to talk to me, right? I think one dude wanted to watch him have sex with a woman in Africa. I keep telling them no, right? I don't need to see you having sex. I'm trying to find my girlfriend, not yours. If you got one, great for you, great for you. I don't want to live vicariously through you, though. I want my own girlfriend, right? That's the problem, too, right? Now, I'm not leaving myself alone, but I'm alone. Why, right? Stereotypes. Someone's with someone, right? I saw two women I could have been interested in, but, you can't really talk to someone unless they talk to you first, right? You don't know their situation, right? Now, one lady, we were both looking at the eggs, right, trying to figure out the prices and what was what. Really tried to talk to her a little bit, but that's as far as it went, right? Like I said, right? And the ones who wanted to be with me, I could tell they wanted to be with me, right? I don't know why now necessarily, right? One was probably just a crack hoe. I don't know, right? Who knows? But I guess I needed something, right? But it's not that she was having sex or not having sex. And I'm walking around on crutches, so she don't think I can get her pregnant. But her man's wanting to be with her. She just had a baby, she said, but there was no baby around her, so I don't know what's going on, right? It's kind of confusing to me, right? Now, the only way they take your baby away, though, is if you're a crackhead, right? So I don't know what's going on, right? So, right. But it was just her and her man, too, so that's why I'm confused. I mean, right, as to what the woman was even dealing with. But she didn't want sex with her man, right? But she wanted sex with me, so that's kind of the weird part of it. Right. But that was the girl from the motel in Garden City, right? On the back lot, right? On Main Street, right? You know where I mean. You know. By the store and the railroad tracks, right? Before the bank, right? You know where I mean. If you know the area. If you don't, you don't, right? You get it again. I'm a Garden City man, right? Anywhere I grew up and was raised, right? Garden City, Port Wentworth, and then Marlowe. I mean, come on, right? And then Effingham until I was almost 17, and then we moved back after the wreck, right? Now, the general knowledge, though, has nothing to do with pedophilia, right? Of my upbringing. That's the problem, right? But Davis, okay, right? Something pedophilic came out, right? But you can't just associate it with me, right? I met the man. I'm not the man, right? If he's teaching that kind of behavior, right, you're denying it, and that's not how you repent of your sin, right? Even, Jim Baker and Jessica Hahn are, right? Not supposed to do that, Jim. And if you don't confess your sin, what happens, Jim? Where do you go? Hell? You think Satan went to hell because he didn't confess his sin? To Jim Baker? You think you can get away with not confessing your sin? Right. If you raped that poor girl or roofied her or your associate did, right, it is a sin. And you don't get into heaven if you don't confess that sin to Jessica herself and commit what you did, like David did, right? David didn't deny he did Bathsheba wrong. He did, right? He might have even kind of raped her, don't you think, Tamar and Amnon is the cause of that? But what will happen to you, Mr. Baker? I can't call you a reverend because you won't confess your sins, right? Now, I have only one small problem, that my wife had a child, right? But when did I meet the daughter, right? Almost towards the end of the relationship as well, right? And who's that on? Mom or the stepdad? Or the grandma? The grandma, right? But that's the point, right? When you're telling someone else's story, but it's part of your story, because you married them, right? You have poetic license if you're given an autobiography because of the fall and the wreck, right? The wreck was before I met her, and the fall was after, right? And both usually kill you, right? Now, all I know is I'm out for 2 days, and then when I get out the hospital, I'm like the song Dazed and Confused by Zeppelin, right? I don't know what the hell's going on, right? But I do know, right? I'm woozy and blacked out, right? Now, that's 16, right? That's still a child with some kind of head trauma, right? And then Mark talked me into the burglary thing. Okay, right. Never really, took it seriously, the ninjutsu like that either, right? But that is kind of part of it, breaking and entering somebody's house and then, right, being the spy, right? Yes, right. Lifestyle, right? But I'm more talking about it as a movie type situation, right? Whereas Mark had to be the one to stake out and choose the house, right? We went in, right? So am I just involved with it as an accomplice but not sure what's going on? Right. See, there's a difference in the mentality of me and my stepbrother there too, right? Not to blame him, but right. I'm fresh from a wreck with head trauma and don't know how I even survived it, and why was it something more? And I don't remember a damn thing either, right? Oops. Now, I do think it could be tied into the windshield perhaps collapsing on my head, but right. In most wrecks, the car protects you a little bit, right? There again, this one went airborne and crashed into the ground, but was my stepbrother injured though? Nope. That's the problem with the story, ain't it, Marceline? Right? See, two people can't be not injured in the same wreck, right? That's the problem. That's the problem. That suggests more happened than one of them is telling us, right? And the odd man out was, or little Roddy, was always kind of treated like a black sheep, right? Well, we know that now, don't we, Big Rod, right? Now, Eve, middle name, is the second stepbrother, but he might be Roddy's and Kathy's, right. There we go again. She did have at least one child with Roddy, but right. We don't know more than that either. Now, Roddy Piper, Roddy's their problem. Roddy Piper. You're not the only Roddy. But don't get on the high horse either, no. It ain't about you either. It's my autobiography because of the wreck and the fall, right? We don't normally survive those things, from what I'm hearing. I don't. Even if trained, you might come in, say, a 24-foot fall, but it depends, right? It's not impossible. Even a pole vaultist has to get at least several feet in the air and lands on some sort of mattress, but right. You don't normally try to jump Right? 20 feet or more, right? Normally, right? From a 3-story building, at least, right? Now, the reason it's to be 20 feet is it's at least 10 foot by floor, right? And it's a military barracks, so if the ceilings are like that, that's still taller than your average man, but that's about an 8-foot ceiling there, right? I know. Typically, in your house, or like I could reach the top of the door, even, right? Or the arch there, but usually that's still another foot or so in an average house, right? See, that's your normal ceiling, right? I got what's called a cathedral. See, it's churchy. Why do you think I'm in a house? They call it my church, idiot. It is a church house. It is a church house. These are called cathedral ceilings because they're like a church ceilings, just right. You keep saying my church ain't a house, but actually, brother, it is. These are called cathedral ceilings, right? By the way, and Lori put me in this house, right? I don't know. Okay, just saying.